Now you can see the attack right there. The bus driver yelling at the woman to get off. The woman continues to swing at her while the bus driver tries defending herself. While LAPD hasn't confirmed what led to this woman throwing punches, witnesses say that she refused to pay for her bus ticket, and that's when the driver asked her to get off. As you can see, things got heated moments after. LAPD says officers were called out this afternoon just before 1 p.m. at South Central Avenue and Jefferson Boulevard, where they responded to a battery investigation. The victim was treated at the scene, presumably for minor injuries. She's going to be okay. Her alleged attacker was arrested. No word yet on the charges she'll be booked on. Meantime, the victim was driving a dash bus, which is part of the Los Angeles Department of Transportation, but the attack is one of several that we've seen recently with local transportation. LA Metro officials are grappling with a series of violent attacks in recent weeks.
So in Los Angeles, had a number of incidents that bus drivers had to deal with just like that. Here's what they did.
We're not demanding anything. What we're asking is for there to be safety.
In an exclusive interview with Fox 11 News, with the agreement that we'd protect his identity, a veteran Metro bus driver explains why so many colleagues called out sick on Friday.
I want the viewers to understand that we as bus operators are there for you. That being said, we're not safe. The safety is not provided for us to do our jobs. I can't do my job safely if I don't feel safe.
How bad has it gotten?
We've had a bus operator hijacked at gunpoint. We've had operators stabbed or attempted stabbing. We've had operators physically attacked, slapped, punched, things thrown at them, a variety of things.
Even though the Metro Board recently approved a safety measure to retrofit the buses with shatterproof barriers to enclose drivers, our source believes it will be pointless.
We pick up people that should not be on the buses, and the call for help from authorities takes a long time. Sometimes they don't even show.
He says what drivers want is something else.
What we're asking for is a show of force or a show of safety force of authority.
As for the embattled Metro Ambassador program, bus drivers don't have much faith in it.
That program is not working at all. As far as I'm concerned, it was a waste of money to start that program.
Friday's Sick Out is a one-day event, but drivers say don't be surprised if it happens again.
Many of you know that reporting from risky environments like CHOP in Seattle or street protests, that often puts my safety on the line. Despite having a concealed weapons permit, carrying a bulky item while filming in such situations, it's always been a challenge. That brings me to today's sponsor and the solution to my problem, the Vanish Daily Carry Holster. What stands out about this Vanish holster is its comfort and discretion. It weighs just 6 ounces. It's made from durable Cordura material that's gentle on the skin. Designed to fit 99% of semi-automatic pistols, it's adjustable for right and left-handed users. It features a secure trigger guard and includes utility or magazine pouches. Wear it under a loose t-shirt and it's virtually undetectable. Vanish Holsters offers a 100% money-back guarantee, ensuring a risk-free purchase. Plus, they're offering $50 off the retail price for those who use my special link below. And don't forget the huge giveaway. Vanish Holsters is giving away an $80,000 custom Rocky Ridge Silverado truck to one lucky buyer who purchases by June 3rd. Check out the link in the description to get the most comfortable holster you've ever worn and a chance to win this incredible truck. So LA bus drivers with a little bit of a pushback. Yeah. Let's get into it. Los Angeles Metro bus drivers staged an unofficial strike to protest poor safety conditions on public transit as staff face violent assaults from unruly passengers. Weekday ridership in the system is only at 80% of pre-pandemic levels, despite expansions in service coverage and frequency, while car registrations remain steady, suggesting riders who have car access will replace some car trips with transit before the pandemic are deciding to remain in their cars instead. Well, with what we just saw, can you really blame them? I mean, that's some crazy stuff going on, right? Hey, you got some real beatdown things going on. And, you know, we've had major incidents. We have more incidents here in King County in Seattle with people smoking fentanyl in the bus, just, in the trains. You got that enclosed environment, and they just light up and they just like to ride around forever. And then those folks at times, they get into tussles with the bus drivers, with the train drivers, with the, whatever it might be. We've got monorail here too, right? So are people pushing back on this? Not only the ridership is pushing back. Yeah, maybe today isn't the day I ride the bus, but you've got the bus drivers themselves, the people that operate these, doing an unofficial sick out. Yeah, not coming in today. Yeah, I don't want to get beaten up. It's not on my list of things to do. That wasn't in my personal affirmations this morning. Los Angeles Metro's budget has increased significantly from $6.6 billion in 2019 to $9.1 billion. Yeah, not a lot of that has gone to safety, has it? Once accounting for inflation, LA Metro's budget has increased 12%, going towards expanding its rail and bus lines and decreasing the time between trains and buses during peak transit hours. However, despite notable service coverage and efficiency improvements, ridership is failing to recover as safety concerns continue to plague the beleaguered system. Let's just go with one of the points that the bus driver who had his voice altered to contain his identity, he basically stated, we've got a situation where we've got people riding the bus that shouldn't be. You've got people with major mental issues that shouldn't be getting on the bus. And, are they hopped up on drugs? Who knows? You have people that are just hopped up on drugs, to begin with, without mental issues. Any which one of these deals for a bus driver is a no-go. So some of what we are seeing, and this isn't just in LA, but this is a story that happened in LA, 4 or 5 days ago, last Friday. And this type of situation is happening all throughout the United States because you've got a situation where you've got people that are just literally out of their minds. They belong in a mental institution. They should be medicated for their own safety and for the safety of society in general. And yet that's not happening. And it's because we dumped out on the institutions, mental institutions. And then we've had a wide open southern border, and we've had a lot of cities that have gone, drugs aren't that bad. Let's go ahead and decriminalize drugs. Let's decriminalize the hard stuff and we'll just see how it goes. Get all these people hooked on these drugs. They're super cheap now. So now you got a bunch of mental folks that need mental help and that also need, they need addiction services. And so buses become a target for this kind of behavior because that's how these people get around anyway, right? I got to ride the bus because don't have a car or Uber's too expensive. This is their socioeconomic point, right? Because LA Metro bus drivers are covered by a collective bargaining agreement, the sick-in or calling in sick to impact service by drivers is not a union-sanctioned event. Shocking, right? The one-day sick-in came after LA Metro agreed in late April to install full-length safety doors to protect drivers from violent passengers. But as we heard in this story, the guy's like, that's not really going to do much. These people are causing such a ruckus that having the drivers enclosed in this tiny little safety container, overall picture is just not good. You got to stop the people from coming on. And there's just no way to do that. That shouldn't be on the bus, right? Get on the bus, Gus. Maybe not in LA. Just days after the safety door announcement, a transient who refused to pay a bus fare violently attacked a bus driver in a video that went viral, highlighting the challenges faced by public transit drivers in the increasingly lawless city. Prosecutors say the violence is a result of lack of criminal prosecution of violent individuals by the county's lead prosecutor, District Attorney George Gascon. Yeah, so that leads us into the mentally insane that shouldn't be running around society loose. You've got the whacked out drug addicts. You've got the combination of the two. And then you've got a bunch of criminals running around that even if they've been arrested multiple times, they're not in jail. They're not behind bars where they should be. They're riding the bus. Yeah. Doesn't it just want to make you take a metro? Just, we're going to get the nearest bus. I just want to ride around and see what happens. No, thank you. While these barriers may help to delay or discourage attack on bus drivers, The real issue is the rise of property and violent crime in Los Angeles County over the past 4 years, said former U.S. Assistant Attorney General Nate Hochman, who is running against Gascon to the center square. George Gascon refuses to prosecute many crimes, and as a result, criminals know there won't be consequences for their actions. So that third element, if you got people running around that might have these other issues going on as well, they've been arrested many, many, many times. They've been convicted. And yet, because of this whole soft on crime approach, they know they do something crazy on the bus. What's going to happen to them? Nothing. Nothing's going to happen to them. When LA Metro stopped enforcing fares during the COVID-19 era, the system became a de facto shelter for the county's homeless and mentally ill, limiting utilization of a system that is the product of billions of dollars of growing public investment ahead of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Here's another example of what we're talking about.
Authorities are looking for this man. He's accused of punching and stabbing an LA Metro bus driver last Saturday. According to the LA County Sheriff's Department, the attack took place about 8:30 at night. This is at the intersection of 119th Street and Wilmington Avenue in South LA. The suspect was allegedly yelling at that driver before he punched and stabbed him. That's when he ran northbound on Wilmington Avenue. As for the driver, fortunately, he was able to go home after a night in the hospital.
Hey, it's your lucky day. It's your lucky day. After just one night in the hospital, you get to go home and cool your jets and kind of get back on track for yet another day of driving the bus. Absolute insanity, right? So you've got these multiple layers of why things are just going wildly sideways on the bus. And I think most people recognize that, hey, the metro system may not be the safest place. You've got a situation in New York City where the Governor Hochul, has sent the National Guard down into the subway system because things got so wildly out of control there. And people being pushed onto on the tracks. I mean, you've got all kinds of criminal activity going on, and you've got literally millions of people riding the transit in New York City. So the governor is like, oh man, this is not a good look. And it's not like in Seattle, you can get around without riding the bus, right? I mean, it's just riding the bus here is hardly anybody does it. People commuting that have, someplace close to them where they can get on, one of these stations. Some people do it here in the Pacific Northwest, but very few. New York City, I mean, that's just how you do it, right? That's just how you get around. So it's not an option. So Governor Hochul has literally sent the National Guard to do a little bit of prop up that kind of show of force that the bus driver with the disguised voice that we heard initially, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about a show of force. Hey, let's have a little bit of pushback on this ridiculousness. Now, bus drivers here in Washington State, particularly in King County, they have been pushing back because, we've got this whole decriminalized drug environment here. And you've got the addicts getting on the bus because bus enclosed area. You don't have all the wind running around. You can light up easier, smoke your fentanyl, and then just stay on the bus and ride it to your heart's content. Don't have to pay. You don't pay. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, right? So here in King County, but, Metro bus, especially in downtown Seattle, has become just a haven for drug addicts to do their drugs. And then you've got a bunch of other nut jobs running around that, every now and then assault a bus driver. But because here in the Pacific Northwest, majority of us don't take the bus, I think there isn't a lot of focus on this. But in LA, yeah, it's a thing, right? In most big cities, it's a thing. Seattle has just terrible, terrible transit. Got this light rail going in that's supposed to be the be-all, cure-all for everything. But I kind of question that as well, because once you hook up Seattle to Bellevue, now the homeless can just, for free ride with all their crazy stuff into Bellevue. And I'm sure that'll work out fine, right? And because we've got a handful of homeless housing here in Bellevue now. And so they're going to be able to come from where they are, wherever they are in Seattle, ride the bus over here. That's when you're like, light rail in Bellevue, maybe we could do without that. But it's here and we're opening it up. So that's what's going on. But in Los Angeles, I mean, you've got bus driver after bus driver after bus driver who's like, hey, wait a minute. We're willing to do an unofficial walkout here because safety is so important to us. We'd rather not get killed on the job. And you know what? I really can't blame them. This is something that's, an ongoing theme. We talk about it fairly often from the standpoint of you've just got a lot of folks out there riding the bus that maybe they shouldn't be. What are we going to do about it? What does society do about it? Well, it's kind of like saying, well, what are you doing about the homeless situation? Yeah, we're spending a lot of money and it's not getting better. Spending a lot of money on Metro? Yeah, doesn't seem like safety's getting better, does it? And you got to look into it, and I hate to say it, but you got to look into the root causes. You got crazy people walking around. All right, what do you do there? Yeah, built some more mental institutions. You got a bunch of drug addicts running around. What do you do there? Involuntary commitment to treatment? Doesn't seem like that's going on. And then you got a bunch of criminals. Yeah, make that vote count. Get those George Gascon guys out of there, out of the legal system, because they've been terrible for not only the patrons of the bus, but the bus drivers and everybody else that lives in society in these areas where you've got these weak on crime, far left backed district attorneys and prosecutors and everybody else in the legal system. It's all based on, well, how can we let you go today so you can go out and commit yet another crime? All under the auspices of, oh, we just need to give them another chance. They just need one more chance. No, they don't. They need to be thrown in jail. There you go. So, or mental institution or treatment. Treatment is housing. So, yeah. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'd love to have you subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.